Welcome back, everyone. As you can see, I'm outside the workshop at the back door of the house, and this is the long walk to work. Just through this doorway here, and if you look down along here, you'll see the outside of the workshop, how small it actually is. So we come in here then, and the first machine you see is my table saw, which is a SIP 10-inch table saw, cast iron top on it, excellent saw. And then just beyond that, we've got the pillar drill, or what our American viewers would call drill press. You can come in on you. Again, very good machine, rock steady and accurate. And then beside that here, I've got a tabletop bandsaw. It's a record power BS250, 10-inch depth, 10-inch depth here on the throat, and brilliant machine too. Each one of these machines has its own dedicated dust extractor. Beside the bandsaw, I've got this little disc and belt sander, and I do all my shaping on this one. It's not good for actually sanding wood because it's too aggressive. I do use it to shape curves and angles into wood. And then beside that again, I've got a little BM16 mortiser. I don't use it much. There's not much call for a mortiser in model making, but it does have its uses when you're making trailers for the outriggers extending in and out. They need a little square hole to go into, so I use that. And around here behind me, I've got another record power machine. It's a bobbin sander, BBS 100. Excellent little machine again. A shelf up here, model waiting to be collected, and some offcuts of booms that I like to keep to use them as reference the next time I'm making a crane. In this corner here, I have the wood that I use. This is all maple here, and I've got some walnut here. A local joinery shop get the wood for me. Now here we have the surface planer combined with the thicknesser underneath. It's a Metabo. It's got an 8-inch depth, 200 millimeters. Again, very, very good machine for what I do. And on the table here, I have a SIP lathe. It's a 36-inch lathe, roughly a meter, and variable speed from about 450 revs up to about, I think, 2,500 at the top speed. Brilliant little machine, very forgiving for somebody like me who doesn't know much about turning. The obligatory radio sits up here, and the heater, which is brilliant in winter time, because believe it or not, even a small shed like this gets pretty cold. Up here, I've got some materials in here, like the wax I use on the models, other bits and pieces like wire, bolts, so on and so forth, and this, the very first model I ever made. Still have it there. The ones I make nowadays are slightly more complicated, but that's where it sits. Here I've got a little skill saw for splitting down plywood sheets or the longer lengths of timber when they come in. My first aid box, fire extinguishers. Here on the wall, I've got the crosscut sled that I use on the table saw, passes over and back on the blade to cut off small pieces. And in this corner, I've got some more drawers. In the bottom, I've got all kinds of dowels that I need for the different parts of different models. In the middle one, I've got sandpaper, and spare saw blades. In the top drawer, very dusty, but I've got some books. This book I would recommend to anyone. Now, I'm not being paid to endorse this book in any way, and I did buy it with my own money. But if you look for this book, you can find it in the rainforest, if you know what I mean. It's a brilliant way to get into modelling. There's all sorts of tips, hints, plans on how to make 12 different models in this book. Excellent, excellent book. And then we have tools hanging up everywhere, as you do in a small workshop, because there's nowhere else to put them. And this is the famous Wall of Fame. Companies from all over the world have sent me stickers to put up on my wall, and they're usually in the background as I take photographs, because the only place I have to take photographs of the model is sitting on the top of the saw, so those are in the background. That's about it. You've got an idea now just how small this shed is, and all of the machines are operated by me. There's nothing computer controlled here. I use an iPad to do all my research, and that's about it. That's my workshop in a nutshell. There's one other thing I'd like to show you. This is the stand that I use when I'm usually making videos. I put it on a slide on the roof. It can swivel and it can move into just about any position. And that's what I usually use when I'm filming videos. And then it just slides over out of the way during the week when I don't need it. So that's it for this week. Talk to you again soon.